All right, Miss Pat fans. Now, in this particular video, it's kind of like the Upshaws on Netflix. I'm very conflicted. I still haven't figured out the style to do videos based on shows where they drop the entire season at once. Like, do you want episode by episode reviews like I do for The Oval or Sisters, or do you like just these short, sweet, to the point videos where I just kind of give my thoughts on, hey, here's what I thought of the season, and that's about it. But either way, just to give you a quick kind of like initial thoughts or, quick thoughts on the series, I really enjoyed it. I mean, I remember when I did my trailer reaction / breakdown video and I said, yeah, this does seem a bit raunchy and vulgar in regards to the language, but overall, it felt like Miss Pat invited us, or let me just talk from my perspective. It felt like Miss Pat invited me into her home. I mean, from the scenario she was in, from, family dynamics, dealing with, school authorities like the principal. I felt like this show was kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? It felt like Miss Pat to the BET Plus streaming network is what the Upshaws was to Netflix. A funny / hilarious, relatable black show. And I think I was reading some reviews and it put into words what I couldn't really express my feelings. Some say that Miss Pat was kind of like a modern day Archie Bunker, and I'm like, that's what it was. It felt like a black All in the Family, kind of like, how the Jeffersons was to All in the Family, where George was just like Archie, just a different, skin tone. Same with Fred Sanford. And I feel like anybody can enjoy it for the most part. I mean, I feel like in the trailer there was that one moment where, Miss Pat was on a plane. She was like, honey, black people, we don't hope for the lottery anymore. We just wait to see if one of our kids gets shot or beat up by the police, and that's a major payday. And I was like, ooh, that's a bit, I don't know if we should have said that, but it's very relatable because of the fact that every time I would cringe, not in a like, oh, like, that was awful. Well, it kind of like, oh, I can't believe they said that. I took a moment and I was like, well, to be honest, what the character of Pat is saying on screen, these are the kind of conversations that you hear in the barbershop, in the beauty salon, in the in your own living room amongst your family and friends. So I feel like the Miss Pat show kind of raises the bar because it's just like comedians like Dave Chappelle, where I think we just, and it's not something that hasn't been already said, we live in a society that's easily offended. And it's hard to imagine how some comedians talk today. And I was just like, I kept catching myself having, oh my God, moments where I was like, Jeremy, you watched House Party, you listened to Robin Harris, Richard Pryor, and so many comedians who cursed and whatnot as a kid. So why am I being stunned, at some of the language used in this show? And that's when I realized, yeah, it's easy to catch yourself in those moments because we just live in a society where anything can be labeled as offensive and vulgar and lead to somebody being canceled. But the thing about the Miss Pat show is I felt like there was a meaning behind each curse word, each topic of discussion, each threat to beat the hell out of your child's life. It's just like, these are the conversations that are held behind closed doors that people try to act all prim and proper in person. But Miss Pat gave us a sneak peek into, hey, you know how, Miss Darla at the church, this is what her family's like behind closed doors. So it's like the Miss Pat show, I felt like a breath of fresh air. I know it's I'm stumbling over my words here because I really don't know how to describe the show aside from I would recommend it. Like, go check it out for yourself. It's just like the Upshaws. When I watched that first episode, I found myself binging. Technically, I did take like a 30-minute break because I had to go somewhere. But yeah, you will most likely binge this show. I think each episode is about half an hour, give or take. So I don't see why this show would not get a season 2. And I felt like even though, most people look at a comedy, oh, there's a laugh track of this and that. this was legit comedy and I liked it. It just felt like watching, you know how the Bernie Mac show was based on a sketch about the milk and cookies, or you know how Baby's Kids was based off Robin Harris's sketch from, well, not sketch, but his story from his comedy set. It felt like that. It felt like, yeah, it definitely had the Miss Pat took this from on stage to a sitcom. And I hope there's a season 2. So, yeah, like I said, if you want me to do, you know, maybe a video per episode, that's just 10 videos, I will definitely think about it. I mean, the last 2 episodes were directed by Ken Fields, aka Regine from Living Single, aka I forgot her character's name in the Upshaws, but it sounded very similar to Regina. So it really was good. And like I said, you know, in another video recently, since I'm usually just watching Tyler Perry stuff that he writes and directs everything for, it felt like, oh snap, you know, this just takes me back to watching sitcoms back in the day with my parents. So yeah, the Upshaws and the Miss Pat show, they both get 2 thumbs up for me. That's really all I got to say. So, like I said before, maybe I'll put a poll in the community tab to let me know. Well, you could let me know. Hey, Jeremy, go ahead and do a video for each episode. I might consider that sometime in September because, well, I like the show. I know some people are reluctant because I don't want to spend money on BET Plus, but I just feel like this show being on BET Plus is appropriate because with the number of edits and bleeps and censorships on the BET network, it would not be as funny. So check it out. That's my recommendation. People have wanted my thoughts for a while and you finally got them. So thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next one.